Hello, this is Giorgio Lucas. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about the Belarus real estate market, and more specifically its capital, Minsk. Now, there have been recent elections in Belarus, as you all know, and they have been disputed. And as a result, you've seen a lot of protests in the capital, Minsk, and indeed other cities in Belarus. I want to start on a positive note and give you 10 reasons why I think potentially in the future, Minsk could be a good place to invest in the real estate market. So number one, Minsk is very well developed. So it has fantastic roads, wide boulevards, and these were built after World War II because of Minsk was very, very heavily bombed. But what it has meant is that the roads were built specifically for cars. And so you get very, very little traffic in Minsk when you compare it to other cities in Europe. Also, you've got an excellent healthcare system, a very, very well educated population, and good universities. And that goes for all of Belarus, including Minsk, of course. Number two, Minsk is one of the cleanest cities in the whole world. So it regularly gets ranked as in the top 5 cleanest cities in the world. And also, it's got a population of 2 million, which makes it, if not one of the major cities of Europe, quite a big city. Number three, low taxation, inheritance tax, transfer tax, stamp duty are all 0%, and income tax, rental income tax, and capital gains tax are 13%, which is not very, very low, but it's much lower when you compare it to Western European countries. Number four, unemployment is very low at under 5% in Belarus. That again is lower than many European countries, specifically if you're looking at Italy, Greece, Spain, etc., Portugal. That is very low. Number five, what I also like about Belarus is the oil and gas reserves. They have a lot of oil and gas reserves, and that should keep them in good stead for the future. Number six, what I also like is a diversified economy. So Belarus is very dynamic in manufacturing, energy, finance and construction, and that should keep it in good stead for the future. It isn't reliant on just one sector of the economy. Number seven, it's relatively straightforward to buy in Belarus. Good process. You have the same rights as locals. The only thing that you can't do as a foreigner is buy land. You can only lease the land. Number eight, what I also like is that in recent years, Belarus has been opening up to tourists. So now up to 80 countries can stay for 1 month. If you're a citizen of one of 80 countries, you can stay up to 1 month in Belarus without a visa. Obviously, I think you actually have to fly in and out of Minsk. But when you compare it to a few years ago where you needed a visa, this is a good step forward, and tourism should increase in the future. And that can only be good for property prices. Number nine, the prices in Minsk are quite low. So expect to pay between 1,200 to 1,700 US dollars per square meter for a flat in Minsk. Although that's not extremely low, it is relatively low. And in Minsk, you also get good gross yields of 5 to 5.5%, which is above average in Europe. However, unfortunately, there are 2 or 3 things which really make, at the moment, I think, Belarus and specifically Minsk, a place where you shouldn't invest in real estate, not yet anyway. Number one, the average net salary in Minsk is less than 450 US dollars per month. And that's very, very low. So to buy a property as a local in Minsk is very, very expensive. And that, you taking that into account, that doesn't make Minsk a great place at the moment to buy. Number two, what I also don't like is that Belarus as a country is very dependent on Russia for its exports. Yeah, 70%. Now that's very, very, very high when you compare it to most countries. So I don't like the fact that it's dependent on almost entirely on most of its exports on one country, Russia. Number three, when you look at it in isolation, let's say low, one of my favorite things to look at is the total government debt to GDP. And in Belarus, it's actually quite low at 43%. But in Belarus, you need to look into the detail. Why is that? Because 90% of this debt is actually held in foreign currency. And if you look at the ruble in Belarus, it has been falling over the last year or so. It's fallen about 20% against the US dollar. And I think with all this political tension going on at the moment, it's likely to fall even further. Now, with that in mind, I think the debt is likely to increase from its level of 43%. It will go a lot further up. And this could cause major problems in the country. And with a lot of political tension at the moment, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Lukashenko is going to stay in power, but expect a lot of turbulence ahead over the coming months, if not years. We hope it's not years, but there will be a lot of turbulence ahead, and that's never a great time to buy a property. So my conclusion is, much as I like Belarus and Minsk in particular, now is not the time to buy. If Belarus becomes a little bit more goes a little more forward, has more stability, and becomes like, I don't know, Latvia, Lithuania, or Estonia, that may be the time to get in the market, but not now, I'm afraid. Anyway, I hope this video has been of some use to you. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.